Good morning, everyone, and thank you again for joining us this morning. This is the Knowledge Point team. It's myself, Thomas Carlson, and Will Roberts, who's our main speaker this morning. Those of you who attended the last webinar we had about 2 weeks ago know that this is a chapter in a series where we are having Will, who's working on the Knowledge Point marketing team, share some good experiences and insights around how to build a marketing campaign. And today the topic at hand is going to be on social media. In terms of the practicalities of this, I know Will has prepared a presentation that he will walk through, and then there should be time for questions, feedback, ideas, etc. Either in between here or towards the end. And there's a chat function available where you can type in your questions, and once we're through the main presentation, we can also open the phone lines so you can chat directly with Will. And if you are new and this is the first webinar you attend, then there's on Partner Portal, we have a link to the recording from the previous section. And if you're seeing this as a series, there's likely to be a few more chapters following this recording. So with that said, I'm going to hand over to Will and let him take us through some good advice on social media.
Thank you very much. So what we'll be going through today is there'll be a Q&A at the end, as previously mentioned. So submit your questions or we will unmute you and you'll be able to speak and we can have a chat. The main things that we're going to cover is this is predominantly LinkedIn based, as this is the best for business to business or even business to consumer in a professional setting. However, there are other options, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, but all the principles that we will cover today apply to them. So you'll be able to take it from platform to platform. They work in slightly different ways, but the principles and the core is exactly the same. So this all builds on what we've been doing in the previous workshop. So if this is your first one, I encourage you to go back and review our recordings of the other two. So then you can build upon those of our target market and also the best practices to reach them and which channels you're going to choose. So we're going to cover your company page, your personal social media, and paid for promotions. So your company profile. Here is the Knowledge Point profile, and in setup, LinkedIn will walk you through it if you don't already have one. You should always have a company image here, which we use our logo, and a company banner, which is important to explain what you do and also give a bit of a graphic, so we have somebody learning. As you can see, this is the admin view, as I am an admin of the page, but this is just your basic setup. And then you need a quick short line explaining what you do. So as you can see here, we deliver the right learning to the right person in the right manner at the right time. It just needs to be a quick short snippet to explain what your business does and to summarize it. Then also state your location. So we're in education management and we're in Winnersh. As you can see, there's our followers and some analytics around the business. So your content, what do you want to be publishing on the pages to be gaining followers and gaining interactions? Ultimately, your aim is to get leads and to create sales. But the best way to do this isn't by often selling. What you need to do is create a company persona. So this is the personality of your business and what you want to be sharing through your marketing. This is where our previous presentation comes in very well, and it talks about the right channels and the right messaging to use. One of the things that helps with rapid and expansive growth on social media is value add. If you are constantly pushing out your sales message, people don't find this very engaging and very interesting, because if you think of followers joining, if you join at the beginning, you've already seen the sales message. So if it's just being regurgitated again later, you're not going to be seeing anything new or interesting. So what you need is value add. These are articles and interests and comments around what is going on and what's changing. So for example, we have 3 different forms of content on this one. We have a long form that is posted as a document, which was an interview with our senior management team, asking them what are their predictions for the next 12 months. This was also done as a blog post. We then have here a comment on what's going on in the industry. So this is from trainingindustry.com saying, will training be dead? And putting our spin on it and saying what we think. Then also notifications about the National Apprenticeship Week. And this was done in a blog to the Knowledge Point website. So what we've done in all of these is we've brought it in with something that's interesting. So the main point of the content. So on the far left, the main point is our view and our expertise. The middle one is commenting on views and what is happening in the industry. And then the third one is an announcement. As you can see in all of these, you can't see the full text as they are quite long, but we always try to incite conversation and interactions. So this is asking, do you agree? What do you think about this? What is your view, or what's your experience? So this is a very top level version of content, but essentially you want to be posting about every day. If you've got a small following, possibly once a day is fine. If you're getting larger, maybe 2 or 3. It just needs to be the consistency, and the information needs to be insightful and engaging to get more people on board. Of course, with content as well is to mention that you do need to have your sales message within it. So it's not just the value add content. Your value add needs to link to your sales. So if you are pushing architecture courses, for example, you could go towards commenting on the changes in architecture, how more people are being hired, how lockdown has spent people have spent more time in their houses, so they're looking to change them and looking for more designs. Just anything around that people can interact with and engage with. So to hashtags, which is a great way to expand your reach and for more people to find you. This also goes back to the previous workshop that we did, and you need to find out which are the right ones for you. So once you've done your target market and you've figured out your correct channel, you need to find out which hashtags will work for you. So for Knowledge Point, we use our own hashtag, we use education and training. And the best way to do this is by searching them on LinkedIn and seeing how many people follow the hashtag, how many people have posted about it and linked to it, and what the engagement is like. So anything above 1,000, you should probably use as a hashtag. Anything below that, I recommend sticking away from it, or if it's your own, trying to build it. This also goes back to part of the page setup. As you can see, we have our own hashtags on the right-hand side, which you can link through to so you can understand how many people are following them and what's going on. So analytics, once you've been posting your content and you've been gaining your following, you need to know how to adapt and change. Analytics are a great way of doing this. By using the analytics correctly, you can see what's going on. My recommendation is to generally look at this in the larger sense. So don't look at it on such a micro level, more of a macro. Because if you go day to day, things fluctuate, things change. But ultimately, the main numbers that you want to be looking at are your page views, how many people are coming, your unique visits, how many profiles haven't seen your account before that are now seeing it, and your custom button clicks. So in your profile setup, you will have a link through to your website, which is where you're going to drive your traffic. So custom button clicks are your click-through rates, or CTR as we call it, and that's your leads going through to your business for people to view it. This is possibly the highest metric you want, as you want to be driving traffic towards. Now, this doesn't include posts. So if you did do a post about one of your products, people click through that way, that wouldn't be included in this metric. I think just on there. Sorry. So interactions. If you want interactions, comments, likes, shares, you need to give them. Now, LinkedIn can work in a profile in your business profile, and you can only interact as your business profile if people have interacted with you. So as you can see who's reacted to it, who's shared, and who's liked. And what's really important is when you do get activity, is to go and engage with that. So if somebody does comment, you need to reply. So if they just express their view, maybe ask them to go a bit deeper, ask around the question. And this is the same with sharing. If somebody shares your post, ask them some questions about it if they haven't addressed it. What's their opinion? Are you interacting with it? Are you liking it? Because the more interactions you give, the more interactions you will get. So that covers off your company LinkedIn. And I think another point to mention about it is that it is a professional platform. So your business needs to be thinking about how it's representing itself and how it's acting and what is the right messaging to reach your target market. So personal LinkedIn is very different to your business, but at the same time, they're quite similar. I'd say it's very different to other social medias, say like your personal Facebook, where that is fully detached from the company. Your personal LinkedIn is very much linked, but you need it to be your own at the same time. So your profile is set up. This is Ray Brown, our sales and marketing director. What you need to include in your profile is it works like a CV. So it includes everything and anything you can think of. So you need to have all your information about your previous employers, your education, your volunteering, your skills, your experience. And the reason for this is that LinkedIn searches through your profile and it makes recommendations based on who it sees that you're affiliated with. So for example, on Ray Brown here, it shows that he went to Henley Business School. And for example, someone who was in his cohort may have gone on to be the CEO of one of the largest training industries, and you'd want to get that connection. So if you have that your education is there, LinkedIn will recommend to connect with that person. So it's just everything that you've done and anything that's business related and anything to do with your experience. One of the things I would say is important to do is up at the top, you can have your banner image. Often it's good to have a company banner image, so it shows that you're affiliated with that business and you work with them when people come across you. So if you have your own LinkedIn at the moment, or if you don't have one, what we need to do is look back and see, when was your last post? How long ago was it? Were you trying to sell something? Or did you state your opinion or view? And the point of this is, if it's over a month ago, that's probably too long. If it was today, you've done very well. But you want to be posting sort of, I'd say, at least a week if you're trying to be active and personal on your own social media. Were you trying to sell something? This is because it's very easy for a lot of people just to reshare company content with a sales message attached to it. And this profiles don't experience a lot of growth as it's not very interesting or engaging, constantly receiving the same sales message. And did you state your opinion or view? This goes back to our value add. A lot of the profiles that I see that are doing very well are people that are talking about their personal experiences or appear to be. And the point of this is that it is your personal social media. So you need to show your personality through it, whilst also maintaining that sales message in a sort of hidden form. So how to find good content and how to find people to follow so you can share your opinion on what is going on in the industry. So this is an example with Unity and also works with Autodesk. So you need to make sure you are, number one, following the company. This is highlighted in the box. You just go and tick it, and then you will get updates and see what they're coming through. And a good way to find people that work within the company is by going on to see all employees. As you can see, there's 4,000 here. It will then show up the contacts that you're allowed to connect with. Some of you may know LinkedIn works with circles, first, second, thirds. If you don't know people that are in the same circle, it may be hard to connect with them. But as you can see here, we've found Eva. Eva is the global head of sales. But you may not be able to connect because the person is a third. But what you can do is click on more and it will give you the follow option. This means you will see all of the content that they produce and you'll be able to share it, comment and use it for your followers, but you may not have them as a direct connection. So once you've now found this effective content and the interesting things you want, you need to figure out how to share it. So these are effective shares from our marketing team. So this is my profile and Sally Evans, our head of marketing. So what's important is when you share the profile, this is from EAPA, a long copy. I have tagged the person that wrote the article so they get a notification. I've also tagged the company that I was sharing it from. And then I've stated my opinion about it. And then I've asked others their opinion. As you can see, this is the same again for this one. This is more of a statement trying to incite other people to act. And as you can see, Sally has done the same, sharing that is useful and insightful and sharing your opinion about it. So again, another activity for your profile. On content on LinkedIn, how do you react? What do you do? Do you like, do you comment, do you share? And what do you do when? So this goes back to our interaction breeds interaction. If as an individual you are liking, commenting and sharing a lot, then you will receive a lot. And also if you're linked to your company, this will do the same for that. So what do you need to do when? LinkedIn have introduced new likes, reactions. So this is a like, celebrate, support, love, insightful and thoughtful. But it's quite subjective as to which one to do when. A lot of people use celebrations for announcements. insightful for thought leaderships, and support when maybe people need a bit more support. But it's important to have a range of them and to use them differently. So if you have your opinion and you want to incite conversation on your own post, I recommend you share something and have a comment with this and your question. If you want to recommend it to someone, comment and tag them in it, so then other people can see it and they get links through. If you're joining the discussion, so there's already a comment thread happening, join in with that below. And then reactions are subjective to whichever content you see. And it's important to remember that everyone on your profile can see this, of course. So if you are joining in a conversation, commenting, just make sure it is constructive and it is in a professional format. And most importantly, invite people to like your page. When you have admin rights and you grow your following, you can then invite them into your business page, which of course they can share with their contacts and they can comment. So this is why LinkedIn has this sort of two angles, building your personal profile and your personal network, and then also building your business one, as they are very much links, but they are also independent in their own. So we're now going to go to LinkedIn ads. This is very good paid for promotion, and it works slightly differently to any other social media. I'd say if anyone's got any experience with it, it's a mixture of Google AdWords and also Facebook. So it's a bit of a weird one. So when you start your LinkedIn ads campaign, this will be pushed towards you via your company page suggesting to promote things. So you set up your campaign objectives. They've got very different ones. So back to our previous workshop, you need to select the right channel and what you want. If it is a pure sales message, recommend lead generation. If you're trying to build your page very aggressively to get more followers, brand awareness, if you want visits to your website about a publication, then consider those. So the lead generation works by capturing data. It will come up with the advert, which I'll show you, and then a capture form. So this is just an example of the process. So we will choose lead generation. We'll then take you through to your targeting based off your target market. And we talked about the target market research. You will then be able to choose your target market. You can be quite specific on LinkedIn, or you can be quite vague. You can choose languages, locations, job professions, experience, training, learning. So if you are targeting students who have just come out and want to learn more about computer-aided design, you could target students who have graduated in design, in engineering, in arts, and very specifically target those in this area. LinkedIn will then tell you its forecasts. So it will tell you how much it thinks it's going to cost, how many leads it thinks you'll get daily, your CTR that we talked about, your click-through rate. So it reckons 0.13 to 0.35, your daily impressions, and the recommended spend. It is to point out that on LinkedIn, they do try to push you towards the higher end. So it will recommend a daily budget of 100 and a total campaign of more than that. If you do want to do a smaller promotion, say £25 or even less, the best way to do this is to tell LinkedIn you're doing higher budgets, say £80 for the day, but then just self-monitor it in your campaign manager. And when you see you hit your target, stop the promotion. Of course, this isn't the best way and it can run over, but if your budgets are too low, LinkedIn will block your promotion and not allow it to go ahead. So it's just to bear in mind when you are doing this, you generally want them to be quite large budgets and bigger campaigns. Facebook and Instagram will allow you to do ads on any volume. So if you are looking to spend only £1 on a promotion, you can do that on the smaller platforms. LinkedIn is very much pushing you towards higher volume and higher pay. So once you've then done your advert, this is how ours turned out because how we designed it. So we had it in a different language with a call to action, learn more, which will then take you through to a lead generation form. And also it can take you through to the website once you've finished. So it's also important, speaking of social media, to follow us. We share a lot of Autodesk content and other content around the learning industry, which will be useful for you to share and comment on. So it will give you a bit of a kickstart when you're thinking about what news and what items you want to be sharing. So now we'll go to questions. It's a bit of a whistle-stop tour through social media and how to do it. But the main takeaways are: don't always have a sales message. Have it hidden within your comments, your interactions, and use LinkedIn and social medias to begin the sales journey. This is the first time they will be seeing your business. This is the first time they will be seeing what you're selling. So use it as that way, as an introduction, and create a personality and make it personal and interesting and engaging. So we'll now go for questions. If people want to speak, what we can do is add them in and you can speak, or if there's any questions, pop them in the Q&A and we can go and visit those. So the lead generation aspects, it's part of the campaign manager within LinkedIn. So you will choose the lead generation form. It will then take you through the sections that way. And then afterwards, it will then collect the data based on the form that you've created within LinkedIn, and then you will get it. So the lead generation specifically on the ads part is paid for. Lead generation as a whole for social media is your objective. So there is also the organic lead generation, which will come through as we showed the custom button clicks. That they may not be specific leads, but they will be views to your website as opposed to the usual sort of interaction. So there's definitely an organic and a promoted side. So the forms and the way that we're talking about that is the promotion, and your content, your interactions, your likes, your shares will generate views. Sales Navigator does do that if you do have LinkedIn Gold. We haven't covered LinkedIn Gold in this one, but Sales Navigator will work the same way, but that's more of finding specific people within organizations to message and address them. So if you're doing account-based marketing and you have a list of organizations or people that you want to go after, Sales Navigator is very good for that, as you will then be able to find the people directly who are in those roles and message them. Whereas paid for promotions, you can come up in feeds, messages, or in the top banner, and it may have a slightly broader effect because you will find people that you necessarily didn't see in Sales Navigator. So for Knowledge Point, we do both. We use Sales Navigator, we also use paid for promotion, and we use organic. So just a mixture of the three can be quite good.
All right, any other questions for Will? Anything high or low, small or big?
Yeah, so regular LinkedIn will give you the sales, will take you through to Campaign Manager, where you can do promotions. LinkedIn Gold will give you Sales Navigator. I'd recommend, if you are just starting out, just do it on regular LinkedIn to generate traffic, likes, and shares.
All right, so good. With some questions, I think we'll give everyone else a chance, if you think of something, to use the Q&A or the chat. While we wait, I might throw in here, we mentioned that in the previous call, and a few of you responded, but we are keen to have more as well. So we are rebuilding the Knowledge Point website, and there's going to be a dedicated area on there for Autodesk, which is also aimed at end users. So basically potential customers for you guys. As part of that, we're looking for testimonials and also to create shorter showcases of our partners and the good work that you do in your day-to-day. And we'd love to hear from you. So if you would like to be featured, then you can email me and I'll put in the chat box my email. And there's a short form to fill in with some information on who you are, and then that will be reviewed with, by Will and Sally, who you heard mention here as well. And we're going to have kind of like a rolling feature. So even if you don't make the first round, then there's going to be more updates that will be coming. And it's a nice, with relatively minor efforts, some additional promotion. And that's all you need to do is fill in the form, and there's no other obligation. So definitely encourage more to let us know, because we really want to promote your good work, as said.
Yeah, so like Thomas says, that will also be a very good one to promote your business as another channel. So if you do engage with it and you do it, we will be hosting on a website. Also, it'll be good content for you guys to share and for you to be able to send through. So
excellent. And I saw when we were I was talking, I saw there was a question about what Knowledge Point does, and I guess that's actually relevant to address here, to also explain how we set up these sessions. So, Knowledge Point works with Autodesk. We're the learning distributor for the ATC and AAP programs. We have a similar role as well with some other vendors. You saw, for example, Unity mentioned as an example that Will shows. So this is not to make a pitch for anything else we do, but it's just to let you know that we are also working with other software vendors, training programs. And what we are, of course, trying to do from Knowledge Point side is to look at, what are the overall trends? What are customers responding well to when they're, what are they kind of search criteria when they're after training? And then we're trying to turn that generic insight into action points that we can then apply to the different programs. When we are acting as an Autodesk partner, then we're only acting with Autodesk in mind in that sense. So it's different teams as well in our business that work on the different programs. But yes, there are some opportunities. If you are interested in that, then you can drop an email to me again, and I can share some information on what else is available in our portfolio. And also in general terms, the Knowledge Point has an even broader scope as a business. So we're also providing print services and also digital content services to training organizations. So there's a portfolio of different services, but everything is centered and aligned around learning and training in our side. All right. Well, I see it looks like those are our main questions. So maybe then again to just highlight that if you think of something, follow up, then we will be sharing a recording of Will's presentation. And we are, of course, happy to take any follow-up questions. So you can route those through me to the same email I put in the chat, and then I'll loop Will and his colleagues in as appropriate. And I think I'm right in saying that there will be some more information along the same lines that may be pre-recorded, a few of those. And in that case, we will announce that to the partner portal as we usually do. And that's also where the link of this recording will be put in the next few days. So,
yeah. Well, make sure you definitely follow us on LinkedIn. We've got some really good campaigns coming up with really good content I think will be valid to everyone here. Knowledge Point's done a lot of our own research around the future skills of education and the future skills of work, which will soon to be released. So make sure you are following us, as this content will be vital for you to share with your followers.
Great. Well, in that case, thank you, Will, for sharing all of this information, and thank you everyone who attended. I hope that you can put a lot of this to use and get on LinkedIn and start liking all those posts and resharing them. So.
Yeah. Thanks, everyone. Speak soon.